So, how does Supercamp deal with bullying? So, generally, we obviously have the action, we speak to the offending child, we'll then monitor them, and then follow up at the end of the day. And this is with both sets of parents, the offending child's parents and the victim's parents. With the victim, we monitor also, and then any communications that need to be made between the parents and the camp manager will be done so at sign in, sign out, or even a nice courtesy call at lunchtime. So let's take that offending child. So this is the same for our bad behaviour or poor behaviour policy, but we also use it for the bullying side as well. So step one is a quiet word, explain to them and ask them if they know what they're doing is wrong. Step two, we obviously give them a timeout, and then again at the end of the timeout we then explain to them and ask them why they're doing it. So the timeout should be no longer than the child's age in minutes, and obviously if a child's 12 years old you can bring him back a little bit earlier than 12 minutes, but that's the rule of thumb. So if a 4-year-old needs to have a timeout, then it will only be a maximum of 4 minutes. Step 3, we will then speak to the parents. Obviously, if we've given them time out, the parents will be informed. The next stage will be behaviour action plan. You can inform the parents of this after you've given the child a timeout. But the behaviour action plan is something that you develop between the parent and the camp manager, and also the child in some cases. And then the next day, the child and the instructor and the camp manager will follow this action plan. And then obviously if that doesn't work, the CM will then take over and we'll start going down the route of exclusions and part exclusions. But those particular routes will have to be signed off by a head office member of staff. So the victim, we need to listen, a little bit like a disclosure when we're having a disclosure or someone's disclosing something to you, a concern. We need to listen, we need to reassure, we need to explain our actions, we need to be clear on exactly what we're doing, and then we'll inform their parents. So this is the bad behaviour flowchart in a little bit more detail what we just spoke about earlier. So step 1 is quiet word, time out, or feel free to go straight onto the behaviour action plan depending on the severity of the situation. Then we go into part exclusion and permanent exclusion. Step 3 and 4, like I said before, should be only sanctioned by line manager of the camp manager. It's not something that can be dealt with on camp. It needs to involve head office and get signed off, just because if there's any repercussions we can then deal with it at head office and have all the information required down.